Your client turns their phone around and shows you a deposit to their check that is labeled SSA TREAS and the number 310. And if you assume that it means SSDI, you may start looking for a Medicare date that this benefit will never create. But if you assume that it means SSI, you may miss a Medicare clock that is already running, because that one line can point to either or even both of those programs at the same time. But each one has its own rules for income, savings, family benefits, Medicare, and Medicaid. So let's walk through that split because it makes the rules way easier to follow. So the first program is Social Security Disability Insurance, or SSDI. It's under Title II, and it is financed through Social Security taxes, and a worker qualifies through their work history and credits. SSDI has no resource limit, so savings, retirement accounts, investment income, private pensions, and spouse's paycheck generally do not reduce the benefit. Social Security does look at the person's work activity, so workers' compensation and certain public disability payments can also affect the check. And for 2026, Social Security's starting point for substantial gainful activity is $1,690 a month for someone who is not blind and $2,830 for someone who is blind. Now, trial work periods and other rules can change how earnings are treated after benefits begin. Now we're going to look at the other one, which is Supplemental Security Income, or SSI, under Title XVI. It is paid from general federal revenue, and Congress created it in 1972, and it began in January of 1974, replacing separate state programs for people who were aged, blind, or disabled. SSI is based on financial need, so Social Security reviews countable income and resources, but of course some things are excluded, like the home that someone lives in and usually one vehicle. And in 2026, the maximum federal SSI payment is $994 a month for one person, and the resource limit is $2,000 for one person and $3,000 for a couple. And listen to this. Those limits reached these amounts in 1989 and have stayed there ever since. Title II can also pay eligible spouses and children on a worker's record, along with survivor benefits after the worker dies. On the contrary, SSI is figured person by person and does not create family or survivor benefits on the recipient's record, even though family finances can affect eligibility. So let's look at two cases. Two adults that have the same impairment and receive a favorable medical decision. The first one worked for 20 years and earned enough credits for SSDI. She can have $40,000 in retirement in an account, and it will not reduce her SSDI. The second person has little work history and qualifies for SSI. If he receives a $3,000 inheritance, Social Security generally counts it as unearned income that month, and any amount that he keeps may count as a resource the next month. So his SSI could be reduced or even suspended, and the Medicaid effect would depend on his state and situation. So they can receive similar medical decisions and still live under different financial rules, because work history from years earlier can change the benefit that someone receives today. Now, one thing that you may want to try is asking the client to open their verification letter or award letter, or benefit verification letter, and find the program name, because questions about other payments and resource reviews, they're only going to give you clues, but the letter gives you confirmation. If it is SSDI, you may want to find the Medicare entitlement date, generally beginning after 24 months of disability benefit entitlement, but please don't forget that ALS and end-stage renal disease have different rules. If it is SSI alone, now you know that that payment does not create Medicare eligibility. And let me tell you, I've been in the industry for almost 10 years and I've seen agents receive amazing plan and selling training without getting this part of the foundation. So when an eligibility change comes as a surprise, I feel like keeping that client becomes way harder. Now, tomorrow I'm going to walk through a real case where this distinction changes what the client ends up with. And actually, my newsletter this week includes 2 downloadable PDFs to help you with these cases in the field. So go check it out.